Hi everyone, thank you for joining me this morning with Kim Ellis, Embracing Souls. I'm so excited to be here with you, and I'm going to talk today more about, in our Series 1, Episode 5, more about my journey with hormones and how we can kind of support ourselves around that. So as I said, thank you for tuning in with me today, whatever time in the world it is. So just to recap on my journey, just over 3 years ago, I had a major crash in my hormones. And I guess for me, I'm so passionate about helping other women so they don't get to the space that I got to. So it doesn't just happen like that. Obviously, I wasn't listening to the warning signs around it. And I really just want to be able to help you to kind of maybe understand what's going on within yourself. And it doesn't have to just start at 55, it can start at 35 or 40 when these symptoms start to appear. So people think you have to be over 50 for it to start to appear, but that is not true. So some of the things, and we need to take a holistic approach to the whole thing. It's not just one thing that's going to turn us around, it's an actual holistic approach. So some of the things that I've discovered, because I was that itchy, psycho, sweaty, bitchy. I was all of those symptoms that, that we kind of attribute to going through that perimenopausal or premenopausal part of our life. So, I guess, we can kind of understand that we're changing in ourselves a little bit, but it's just, it's being able to stop and learn and listen more to your body, because, your body has your answers. I don't have your answers, but your body does. So we need to start to listen to those answers more, or, to what's going on. So for me, there were things which, I guess I needed to kind of understand. So for me, one of the things was I really started to become slightly agitated, more faster, I guess, in a lot of ways. I was doing things more faster. I was, on kind of like on more agitated, more on things that were going quickly, and I was more, not aggressive, but more agitated, I would say, around lots of things that were going on in my life. There was a lot of stress going on, so that was another thing. So I guess the other thing is, is trying to be more mindful around triggers that stress you, whether it's work, whether it's family, whether it's friends, or whatever it is. There's many different things that can trigger us on a stress level. Around simple things. Could be things that are happening in your family, and we really get stuck in the story around it. And I'm really big on dealing with emotions, because that's a huge part for me for so many things that happen in our life. So, being mindful of how you're actually feeling. Are you feeling that little bit agitated and more not aggressive, but more agitated when things happen in your life? How are you responding to them? Are you finding that you're responding more in a space that you kind of fire back, where you just probably let it brush over you? But so I was obviously firing back more. I was also probably, from what I know, not drinking enough water. So water is a huge thing to make sure our body's really hydrated. And they say a minimum of 8 glasses. That is a minimum that you need to make sure. And I guess, and that doesn't include a cup of coffee or whatever, a cup of tea. That is water. So make sure that you're drinking lots of water to keep your body and your cells hydrated within your body. One of the other things that I found was coffee was a real trigger for me. So it was, even though I didn't drink a lot, it was maybe 1 to 2 cups a day. I've since taken myself off all coffee, because I found it was a real trigger with me. It was really causing my heart to, I could feel myself becoming, my heart to kind of speed up and kind of becoming more anxious around coffee. So that was one of the things, and I'm now a chai lover. So when I still go out with my girlfriends where I would have coffee, but now I just have chai tea. So I find that really helps me, just settles my whole nervous system. Some of the other things is obviously, if you can do things like just some 10 minutes of meditation of a morning, or 10 minutes of quiet time, be really mindful of the thought processes that are coming up in your mind. I also really recommend that you find yourself a really great naturopath and get a saliva test. So not just your blood test from the doctors, but I really recommend that you get a saliva test, which you'll get done through a naturopath. So that will give you a really good indication of what is going on within your body. Is it low progesterone? Is it low estrogen levels, which are the common two things, but it's not necessarily just that. It could be your testosterone. So, I really recommend that you get a saliva test through a naturopath, because, as I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm just sharing with you some of the things that I've discovered over the time with myself. And it's really important because, women are out there, and I get phone calls or messages or things come up nearly every single day that somebody's struggling, with anxiety. It was the very first time in my life that, in that stage, that I became really anxious and started to have, feel anxious, but have panic attacks. So obviously that had to do with my nervous system and so forth. So, that was something else I had to, for the very first time, and I really sympathise and understand more those people that have struggled their whole life with anxiety and their whole life with panic attacks, because that was the first time in my life that I'd actually felt that way. So it was really good for me to, experience that, so I can help people with some support in around that. So there were loads of things that, through my naturopath, but also through my friend that was a clinical aromatherapist, that I learned how to support that and support my everyday life around with different combinations of oils, different supplements and stuff, which really helped me work through that, because for me it wasn't I wasn't choosing to go on hormone replacement therapy. That wasn't an option for me, so I had to kind of navigate around another way to be able to support myself and what was going on in my body. So thankfully, with the the help of my naturopath and the help of some of the oils and supplements and things that I was incorporating into my world, I managed to be able to turn it around quite quickly and find that calmness back in my life. I also realised I had to slow down a bit, because I couldn't go at the pace that I had been going through for years and years and years. I had to learn to be gentle and nurture and listen to my body. I also had an underactive thyroid, which meant my adrenal glands were being compromised. So I had a beautiful friend of mine, Maria Aurora, that really got me to kind of start to work on my adrenal glands, which then really helped support thyroid and stuff as well. So there were lots of things going on. So, I just wanted to really share with you some of the things that I did to support that. I'd love to be able to help you in any way possible. If you think there's something that, any of those things that I've talked about, emotions, obviously more water, that's pretty simple. Exercise is really crucial. And, for me, my adrenal glands were exhausted, so I never had a lot of energy. But, if you can just, get out there and walk, for me, that means to ground myself is just going for a walk along the beach, I find that very, very therapeutic and very grounding for me. Or it could be a walk in the bush or anything, but just do something, even if it's half an hour of walking, or whatever it is. It's a really important part of getting yourself through all of those times. And of course, those hot power surges that start at the tip of your toes all the way up. And I was, wanting to rip my clothes off wherever I was, because I was just like incredible heat that transferred up my body. In bed, I'd be, a bucket of sweat several times through the night, up changing, and, it was just having showers. It was craziness. So I understand the sweaty part of it, and there's loads of things that we can do to support that and bring down our core body temperature, which I'm happy to share with you as well. So, I guess from one woman to another woman, that, we all get to go through this. We all get to go through this journey at different levels, different stages, different symptoms. But I'd love to be able to share my journey with you, and, maybe there's something in what I went through, or I could guide or direct you to some people that might be able to support you, so that you feel like you're not going crazy, so you feel like you're not that psycho woman that's just like everything comes on top of you. It is several things that we need to bring in and slow down to support ourselves. So hope you've enjoyed just a few little tips, because if I can support you in any way, I'm so grateful that someone was there to reach out with a hand and help me along that journey to navigate my way through it, and support myself through that time in my life where, it is a very challenging time for a lot of us. So, we can't expect our men to understand, because they don't go through it. Yes, they do have hormones, but they don't go through what we go through. And it's often accompanied with different big changes in our life, where we may have raised our children and they've moved out and they're on their own journey. So there's lots of things going on emotionally around us, not just physically. Loads of things that are going on emotionally, and I think it's a balance of a lot of things. So I hope you've picked up a few things. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please follow me on my YouTube channel and my podcast channel. Share it with others, because there might be something little that I say that might be able to give somebody some hope and some direction that they can follow through. So have a fantastic day, and always remember, live clean, live well, and be happy. Thank you for now. Bye.